important items have gone in there that they need to go out and get maybe silvers.
Yeah. Well, I think that's less likely because I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the randomizer always assumes that you're starting with no Triforces even when you're not. So anything that would be needed to get any of the 8 Triforces, even the 3 they already started with, cannot be in 9.
Yeah, the Triforces, I'm not sure actually what the setup is on the Triforce side, but it can force you to get an item out of 9 to go out to, say, level 6 and get an item.
Yes, to get an item.
And if I remember correctly, we did have seeds where a lot of Triforces were ladder blocked during that tournament, and the ladder happened to be in level 9, so I don't think it's particularly that way.
Yeah, I
check.
think it was. I think like the logic takes into account how many Triforces you need, but not how many you start with, or something weird like that. And we find the take any roads. They've been shuffled.
Yep. With this flag set, it's a departure again from the random percent tournament that we've seen so much of over the last couple of months. So it's a lot of stuff is going to be traditionally randomized, including the codes.
Yeah, and we see some cheap bombs. That's nice. Only 3 rupees for a 4-pack of bombs. Unfortunately, the runner who found those, Dr. J, does not have any, and now Eat My Steel also finds them up in the northeast corner. There's 2 bomb shops right next to each other.
There's at least a little bit of transport across the way with these boats, so it looks like we may get a chance to find the Armos item across our runners pretty early.
Ooh, and the cheap meat rolled down a bit, as did key purchases, so that's nice. And we find the wood sword at the Vanilla Blue Ring Armos.
And Dr. J finds the last Armos screen that it could have been, and it's the bow for our Armos item. So big items all around.
Yeah, nice start. Now Shaddy will pick up his sword.
So with them starting with 1, 4, and 6, I would suspect that we'll see runners probably look at level 1 if they come across it, and definitely steer clear of level 6 at all costs until they have to.
Yeah, 1 is almost always a good level to dip.
Yeah, I think with the potential for a 40-room level 6 in shapes to be right in front of you, it's not something you want to try and dig. So
yeah.
Unless somebody metas, I don't think any of the Forerunners on screen will dig that early.
Yeah. And we see the secret sizes. The large secret is just a little down, but not enough to counteract the very nice medium secret, 37 rupees.
Yep, and it is all first quest overworld too, so there'll be 3 of them. I think they'll all be fine. Here's level 1 on the coast, next to that coast heart container. I think something important to also note here is heart shuffle for this flag set is off, so we will only have to look for the staircased rooms in these dungeons.
Yep, and we find a staircase, but it is segmented. That was kind of to be expected when you're starting on the top of the level in Shapes 1, because 1 tends to be a very small dungeon, and dungeons always have to have at least 1 room on the bottom row, so it's possible for a Shapes 1 to go all the way from the top to the bottom, but it's very unlikely.
Yep, while you can enter anywhere, as Cyberchow X noted there, his program so far does not allow for you to ignore the bottom row. Perhaps in the future it might. For now, that is a good point, that you either are going to have a very linear level 1 to get down to the bottom, or it's going to have to be segmented if you start on the very top. But we do find 3. It looks like it's in the open cave there in the forest, so...
Yeah, and that is in a spot where you can pirouette it, so... But Shaddy's moving on for now.
My expectation is that since he does not have the Armos item, he doesn't want the Armos item to be like a red ring or a bow like it is now, or a ladder, and miss out on it while digging for the dungeons.
Good point. The Armos items are so close.
And we already have an early arrow purchase on
yeah,
Westfield.
Buying the arrows. Very nice.
It's not much of a surprise given that he has the bow already, so he knows his Armos item, he knows that is a potential combat expediter if you find a Pulse Voice dungeon, or you find a Goma blocking the way.
Yep. And we see the hint shop. Those prices indicate that the hints are not going to be completely useless. In fact, we do have helpful hints on, but everyone seems to just have a question mark. So does that mean that we're going to need the book to understand anybody?
Yep, the book in this flag set is to understand the old man, or in this case, I guess it's Octorok. It's caves here, but anyways, it's not going to give them an atlas, so they have to decide how much value they place in the hints, because the book won't give them both.
Yeah, that is definitely something to think about. Is it worth it for the hints? When it's no boomstick, no atlas. But then again, the wand could just be hiding in level 9, so... Or, even worse, in the shape 6 that they're not going to dig because they started with its Triforce.
Yeah, there's a lot of different scenarios that could play out, but we've already found all 3 of the small dungeons that are usually the first to be dug. We found 1, 2, and 3, 2 being at the traditional Take Any One shop on the coast.
Nice, nice. And Shaddy is now in level 1.
Yeah, he had not seen the coast art, so good quick check, and now back in there. Most likely going to explore the same amount that others explored. We'll see if he continues further since he has his sword.
We get our first map of the race. So, chat, name that ink blot. Oh, was that the recorder on the ground in level 2?
I saw him go for something, it's probably that shape, so we'll have to see once he menus, but definitely looked like he picked up the recorder.
Oh, and we have an ink blot for level 1. That's 5, 8, 15 rooms. That's about right for a level 1. It's a little... I've seen smaller level 1s in shapes.
I would say that you are probably, as a runner, rooting for level 1 to maintain a 14, 15, 16, 17 room configuration, because if you have to dig level 6, it takes out the possibility of level 6 getting much past, say, 35 or 30 at that point.
Yes, because level 1 is always going to be... Well, I should say that levels 1 through 6, you're never going to see level 1 bigger than any of the others, and then level 2. Two of them can end up the same size, but if they're each different sizes, they will be in ascending order, and if 2 are the same size, they'll be adjacent in the numbering.
Yep, so it's 128 rooms, and it never actually fills out all 128 rooms as we see a Triforce pick up.
Right,
so
because
I usually go
they need room for staircases and such, and yes, Ema Steel gets the Triforce from level 2. And it was the recorder, like we thought.
So my math usually is, let's take it down to 120, just to make it an easy math problem. You've got 6 dungeons out there. If they all average out, they're 20 rooms. So when I see level 1 and level 2 that I think I saw 15 and like 17 rooms between those two, in that case, I don't think that level 6 is very often going to get above 30. It's probably going to balance out on the other side of 20 to 25.
It is, yeah, probably going to be a manageable level 6 if they need to dip in there. And we see level 7 on Dr. J's side. Now, level 7 and level 8 are... Oh, but we have an immediate Triforce. So, as I was saying, level 7 and level 8 are together going to make up a half of the other 128 maps. So, they're going to be together, usually there shouldn't be much more than close to 64. It'll never quite make it there.
Yeah, we have a important discovery on Shaddy's side. He got a bomb upgrade, and you'll notice he's at 14 bombs. Also, Eat My Steel near the Vanilla Woodsword Cave ran into Lord Banana as the White Sword item.
And we have a rafting level 1 on Bogey's side. So we're just finding things on everyone's screen just about.
Yep, now he's going to have to make the decision, do I look for a floor drop item somewhere in this dungeon? Or do I go out and try to find a dungeon where I don't have a Triforce yet? And the news that Shaddy has over Bogey at this point, I think I can't quite make the compass or not, but if he did get the compass, he may think he has to spend a bomb for the room that the Triforce is in. But we know with the floor drop being the only drop left in level 1 at this point, that's not going to share that room.
Yeah. And Shaddy picks up his raft, or boot, as it is in his sprite set.
Yeah, so it looks like we are blocked by something combat-wise in one of the rooms in level 1, because Shaddy now looked at his level 1 and he had all the rooms explored. So let's see what he walks into room-wise. I would guess, given it's a Dark Note set, that's going to be one of the nasty Dark Note rooms that has the item.
Yep, and Shaddy and Bogey are still both searching this level 1. And nope, Shaddy is leaving.
Yeah, so it's going to be a situation where if level 1 has a relatively good item, Bogey may have a little bit of a time advantage over Shaddy. And
speaking of time advantage, that clock comes at a nice moment for Bogey, but this room only drops a key.
Yeah, well, that makes him... Oh, here's a blue Dark Note room with 5 blue Dark Note.
Yeah, and quadruple block room. It looks like a normal item room for level 1 even.
Yep, that flag set is off, so I think it's just a coincidental situation.
Yeah, I agree, but either way, that is definitely an item room. I that would have a drop in level 1.
Yeah, while we've been focused on those two runners, though, we have now got our bow and our sword across all 4 of our runners.
And
so nobody's too far.
Shaddy made the mistake of buying hints, forgetting that the book was needed to understand the old men. But he had just saved before that anyway, so he'll retry and get his money back. And we have simultaneous dungeon entries. Shaddy into level 2, Dr. J into level 3. He's going to pirouette that door.
Yep, the flute's really only going to be useful transportation to find out where level 4 and level 6 are for the runners, because we have those Triforces, and it's recorded to new dungeons that are beaten.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's still a good travel, and Itma Steel picks up the candle. That is the maximum price, and it's kind of interesting because, if I'm not mistaken, extra candles is on, so he must have really given up on finding any caves.
Yeah,
money's not too bad in this seat, so.
There's a red ring. Big payday for B out of level 1. The floor item was in a mixture of dark nuts and fires and all sorts of stuff, and it was worth his while.
Yeah, that is going to help his combat in the future.
The profit that
we
both
see
Shaddy...
a small secret on the Raft Island. Small secret also rolled way up. 18 rupees. Just 2 below the maximum. So, and Itma Steel finds the first Take Any Cave, but it was candle blocked, so that candle he couldn't have gotten a free candle from that one.
Yeah, I think logically you have to have at least one that is not candle blocked there, just like it's just like the setup would be for the candle shops themselves. You have to be able to access at least one. Perhaps, though, it was on Death Mountain or something that you had to bomb into. If that's the case, it might have taken some time, so I still think the candle purchase is going to end up being something important for Steel.
And Itma Steel is in. That's the. This is the Red Ring room right here, isn't it?
Yes. He killed a handful of enemies in that room and left. I think maybe he's going to check this room and turn around, just trying to get primary enemies situated, or maybe he's just going to leave that room behind.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of tough to get enemies situated because, if I'm not mistaken, Vires rolled up and are not going down in one hit to a bomb.
I did not see him try the bomb. I know he had the sword out for the last one, but if he bombed the first one, it didn't go down. Yeah, that reduces the amount of things that you can primary out of the screen.
Yeah. And Shaddy picks up his level 2 Triforce.
Dr. J's out to the early Triforce lead, but it's a level 7 Triforce that he has over the other runners, and we know that room was really early in level 7.
Yeah, it was just go north, here's a free Triforce. And Shaddy takes advantage of the whistle to find level 6 at vanilla level 1.
You'll also note that Shaddy's now up to 17 bombs in his inventory, so it looks like he's got both of the bomb upgrades and the capacity way up there at 20.
Yep. And okay, we find not far from vanilla level 1, in fact just one screen to the north, we have level 4. And Shaddy is going to take a peek in here, see if he can find another useful item.
Now, the advantage Dr. J is going to have here is if silvers end up being a 9 in the seed. If he just jets through all of these dungeons and gets Triforces.
But we have
managed to get
already found the item in level 4. It is the red candle, but that's a nice pickup because Shadow is the one runner that did not have the blue candle yet. So that was a very useful pickup.
Dr. J, meanwhile, is now in the room that we know has the red ring. He cleared out a couple enemies, including a fire, so he should get at least one enemy removed from this room. Let's see what respawned.
Okay, I must have been mistaken. It looks like the Vires are maybe vulnerable to bombs. But yeah, Dr. J doesn't want to take care of that room. Now, Shaddy's in level 7, but he starts by heading south from the entrance, so we'll see a little bit more of level 7. Ooh, but he takes a death to the Landmolas.
Eat My Steel's going to get his Wrath now out of level 1, so in the same position that Shaddy and Bogey were in, let's see which one of the 50-50 calls he makes. Looks like he's going to go back and dig some more.
And Shaddy about to just leave and save the room and get the other one down that way, and it drops a fairy. He finishes off both Landmolas. We'll see what's in the staircase. It is the transport. And Eat My Steel has his red ring.
We have Zelda's room found at level 2, so that also eliminates the potential for vanilla seed of some sort. It's also good to know that that room's out of the way. You're not going to have quite the same issue bombing around in dungeons into a single room in most of the scenarios.
And Dr. J picked up his raft, so all 4 runners have the raft now. Not that it seems to have been doing that much in this SID.
Yep, and I like what Dr. J did. He had bombs, so he went through the rest of the bottom segment of level 1, used as many bombs as he wanted to, and then turned around and grabbed the upgrade. And look at this, we have a Goma at level 7. We know it's not blocking anything, but when you realize that you could have had arrows, it's kind of sad to see that.
Yeah, and Eat My Steel does go north first, so he'll get the immediate Triforce from level 7, but he's gonna head back in and look for the item.
Yep, he has knowledge of 1, 2... I believe he also found the white sword item, so he knows that there's at least a smaller amount of available Triforces, or dungeons left to dig for items. So I guess making the play that maybe 7 has at this time.
And Bogey finds level 7. He's going to head south first, so he's not going to see the immediate Triforce.
free heart container that we knew would be the floor item in this dungeon. I think really the runners are interested to see the map to see if there's a ton of rooms in the 7 and both 7 and 8 have balanced, or if it's a smaller one and they only have a handful left.
And Shaddy takes a death. That's going to send him back to the start of the dungeon. Wonder if he's going to try looking at the rest of the dungeon there. Yep, he is heading north, and we'll see that the Triforce was just kind of sitting free there. And Bogey picks up his level 7 Triforce at the exact same moment. They now all 4 have that Triforce. And Bogey is just going to leave the dungeon, as is Shaddy. And Eat My Steel has decided to leave the dungeon as well. And Bogey and Shaddy stay in sync. They're both headed to level 3 now.
Yep, there's the pirouette you were talking about earlier on Bogey's side, getting that top door open, so saving a key. Fortunately, you are going to have to burn some keys to get anywhere in this dungeon, so just a question of which direction you go. Do you go towards the left and towards the middle column where the compass is, which is up at the very top of the G column in region? Or do you just go with the straight up strategy and hope it veers left at the end?
Well, we find the book as the item in level 3, so that's going to open up the hints. Shaddy is taking it, so is Bogey, and so is Eat My Steel. So we are going to get to see hints.
And there's the map, so it confirms to all the runners that they want the right direction.
It is not segmented. That is just all the way up and wider at the top.
Now, unfortunately, Bogey's not going to be able to go any further in this dungeon because he has run out of keys. So he's going to have to exit and look somewhere else, but does have the book, so if he decides to get some secrets here, he may be able to figure out where the dungeons are that he needs to visit.
And that is rude. A horizontal shoot room with a key in it blocked Shaddy from going directly north, and then he heads to the left to go around and finds that he's key blocked.
Yep, so it's just going to be a situation where perhaps he'll get refunded after he gets another key, but
yeah,
you hate to leave 3.
Pretty much guaranteed, and we find level 9 in right near Vanilla Start.
Yep, so good knowledge.
And Dr. J picks up his recorder in level 2.
He must gonna run out of keys just as Shaddy did.
I'm starting to wonder if it was a mismark then on our tracker that Dr. J already had the Triforce from level 2. Because he's still in here after picking up the item.
It's hard to say. I know Jay usually goes for as many heart containers as possible, likes to get to the magical sword potentially as early as possible and use that to kind of accelerate and get caught back up.
That is still blinking. I think our I think it was mismarked, so it's maybe I think Shaddy might be the one that already has the Triforce from level 2.
Yep, definitely looks like the Triforce at least is that way. And there's the heart container that I think Jay was looking for, so he should be out.
And Eat My Steel finds level 9, and Bogey finds level 5. That was one of the few dungeons we were still missing. We still have not seen level 8. And here's a map of level 5. It looks like 21 rooms.
Yep, and you are blocked from going to the north by that moat. And I couldn't see if he was able to go through like a key door or something anywhere else
Well,
there. Or
it looked like there was a key door to the south, but Bogey doesn't have any keys, so he might be key blocked slash ladder blocked.
This looks like Dr. J is going to make a. He's gonna make the early play into level 6 and check at least a handful of rooms and hope that it pays off big time. So major divergence between Dr. J and I guess really the rest of our field.
Yep, and Shaddy's buying hints. Step over the water to reach the magic boomerang. Doesn't tell us much about where it actually is. Gleok returns with the white sword. So white sword is in level 8. And Shaddy is going to... Shaddy probably saved. Yep, he's going to retry. And he left the cheapest hint for last because he couldn't quite afford all 3.
If I had a wager, I'd say he's probably going to pick up the last secret, and if he's got a path of the overworld to clear, he's not going to worry about those lost rubies.
Yeah, he's... And Eat My Steel is also at this hint shop. And Shaddy gets what's old news for him, that the red candle is in 4. Eat My Steel gets that. That's good news for him because he hasn't dug 4 and now he knows he doesn't have to.
Yep, so I think your play is, if you go to 8, you're probably going to look at the rooms around the Triforce and see if you can't get a free combat upgrade for that white sword. But if you find the other item that goes with it, you probably aren't going to stick around.
And we've got a raid from our one of our foreign language affiliates, Speed Gaming Portuguese. Sorry, I don't know any Portuguese, so I can't say hello to you in the proper language, but hello.
So we're going to see... I'm still interested to see what's in this level 6, because we don't really know. We can maybe deduce that there's a potential for the magic boomerang to be at level 5, given how the entirety of the top was blocked off by that moat. And sometimes the game doesn't assume about the staircases situation, so there's a possibility.
It is a possibility, yes. And Shaddy's in level 5. He's going to find out the bad news pretty quickly. That, because you couldn't go south from the entrance room, and you can't bomb east, so yeah, it's just... Without a key, you're stuck in just... Without a key or a ladder, I should say. You've got those 2 rooms and nothing more.
Something else to potentially think about here is Dr. J's looking at some of the old men in the dungeons, but he does not have the book since he's not gone to level 3 and found that out, so... If Bogey goes into that room, it may tell Bogey, hey, your ladders in this dungeon or your silvers are in this dungeon, and you suddenly get some big information. So I think that's why you saw all three runners that saw the book pick it up.
But Bogey is not going to go into that room. He is going to leave level 6 behind.
He did pick up...
And Dr. J has been picked up by a Wallmaster. Oh, and we've got Name That Tune. I know I've heard that one before, but I can't quite remember what it was.
I think the interesting thing that we saw Bogey do there was leave, but he went from 0 keys to 2 keys, so perhaps some of the key block dungeons that he had entered earlier he was more interested in going back to than finishing off level 6 in search of that item.
Yep, and he did not buy the hint, so he doesn't know that it's just the red candle in here, so he'll probably pick that up when he finds it. And he finds it, he picks it up, and he's out of here with 2 extra keys.
Yeah, that hint really didn't make or break him for sure, because he has he didn't lose any keys in level 4. He kept the 2 he got from level 7. And he only lost, what, maybe a minute or a minute and a half at most out of level 4, digging out the red candle.
I wouldn't even call it a time loss. I think those 2 keys are more valuable than the... I mean, especially with... we saw that, like, everywhere you go in level 3, you need another key. And he is heading right back to level 3. He remembers just how horribly key blocked it was.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have the map, so he has gone into this room. If it doesn't refund him.
Side.
Yeah, it didn't refund him, so that's just a lost key.
Yep, and he tries to bomb. None of those walls will bomb, we know.
The one rule of thumb with these
Chatty's up in the graveyard area. I feel like that's the first time we've seen this area. But I'm sure someone must have been over here before. But we are still missing a level. Level 8. I'm guessing it's either on Death Mountain or it's blocked by something like the power bracelet.
Looks like, I don't know if there's a whole lot more that they really can explore, to be honest with you. I feel like they've got just about all the coverage except for East Death Mountain, so there's only, what, 1 dungeon in level 8 that I haven't seen, and seen everything else.
We haven't seen level 8, and if it is under a power bracelet spot, we're probably looking at having to dig 5, 6, or 7. Speaking of level 5, Dr. J is in there, and he has a key, which none of our other runners had when they went in there, so we'll get to see a little bit more of level 5 now.
So it'll be interesting to see what this level 5 has. Earlier I made note of the fact that I had
Oh, and Eat My Steel is found level 8.
Earlier I had kind of theorized that maybe level 5 with the ladder block has the magic boomerang. I don't know that well, he's definitely not seen any hint that would tell him that, so we'll see if it happens to be the case where that ladder block did mean that, or it was actually just a bad prophecy by me, deciding that maybe that hint was there. Looks like we're gonna see some more shenanigans, though. We've already seen one shenanigan on Bogey's side, and we may see one yet on Steel.
Yeah. Setting it up. But Dodonga just doesn't want to come over. And he's just going to kill the Dodonga the old-fashioned way.
I think that's certainly reasonable. Trade your 2 bombs and just go ahead and get through that
And
door.
finds more Dodongas. Meanwhile, Shaddy also has found level 8.
Spiral has something almost as good as a staircase to an item. It has a key in the corner, so still now can make a decision with the next key door he finds, and he also finds a staircase just beyond the spiral.
Yeah. Eatma still gets the heart container, but that's the transport staircase.
Is it a transport to the other transport, or is it somewhere else? Looks like we're segmented there.
Yeah.
Kind of ruined what I wanted to see. I love seeing the troll transport from one room to the next, but it could be just as
yeah,
trolly
that's
if the
fun.
segmented 8 is awful.
And Bogey sees the way around. He's going to pick up the replacement key, and then he's got to deal with a really nasty room. Blue wizrobes and turrets.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Yeah,
got the
even-
advantage. He's got the
even
advantage
with the red
over.
ring.
He's got the
That's-
advantage over the runners with the bomb upgrades, but he doesn't really have much to work with bomb-wise, and you're so far away from Starth, that room's just bad.
Yeah. Oh, and we get a hint in level 5 confirming that step over the water to reach the magic boomerang does refer to level 5. Wait, did I say in level 5? Wait.
Well, hold up. At 10 hearts, Dr. J went to vanilla level 6 and picked up a huge bonus item.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. That is nice.
So the reason why that's so big in my eyes is you can clear rooms a lot quicker, and in this seed where keys are such a huge issue, you now have that ability to clear the rooms, get keys faster, and be able to make more decisions about locked doors.
Yeah. So that looks like a very nice advantage for Dr. J, PhD. Speaking of keys, that nasty blue wizrobe room had an extra key. Eat My Steel gets his sword upgrade. It's not quite as nice as the one Dr. J just got, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not going to be as important for him to go and find the magical sword now. The white sword should be enough for him to get through the seed, but yeah, if Dr. J can find some of these other dungeons relatively quickly, he'll be able to make a lot of ground up on some of the runners that perhaps have the knowledge advantage with the book.
and Shadi doing the same Kananaki that Itma Steel did earlier. In the Dodonga room in level 8.
Everybody's finding the same dig dogger hint in this level 8. But I do think anybody that saw the earlier step across the water hint probably thought at least it was a possibility like I did that level 5 would happen. So you'd much rather that hint tell you something better. Yeah, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items left outstanding and a lot of big number of dungeons left.
Yeah.
Let's see, we've got a room count of what, 14, 19, 23, 25, 29 rooms in this 8?
Yeah, and yeah, that's very small for a Shapes 8. And Bogey was thinking about buying a key when he saw the key shop up on Death Mountain, but decided against it.
So the notes I'd take away from this 8 is I may have to go back to 7 to find a ladder or silver arrows, which will be required. So you can at least look at that and say, well, it's got a little bit of a lean to it if it's level 7, but it's definitely going to be vertical in nature.
And welcome to Speed Gaming 3.
Got some reverse Pentaforce action and a Dig Dogger block of a Triforce in 8. Doesn't seem to be that big of a deal to the runners since they all have it here, but maybe some of our off-stream runners might get trolled if they didn't dig level 2 far.
Yeah. And Shaddy's heading back into level 8. Now he knows that one of the items in here is the white sword. So he may I mean, I'm sure he's comfortable with wooden sword, but you always like to have the upgrade, and there's still one item outstanding, and I'm sure that knowing that the other item is at least useful, it's worth sticking around to try to dig for items.
I definitely think at this point, if I were in Eat My Steel shoes or Chatty shoes, I would absolutely continue digging this level 8 because it's a bigger dungeon that is very likely at this point to have a major item, and I have the map. So I know what rooms exist, and I can clear them all out without wasting as many bombs, but Shaddy's gonna leave.
And Itma Steel's not going to take that Triforce just yet. He wants to continue looking around for the second item. And, ooh, Dr. J, I saw him pick up the Triforce from level 4, which he already had. Apparently he just went off in the other direction at first, and oh, now he found the red candle, but he's still in level 4. It's a little curious. And meanwhile, Ima still does pick up the Triforce from level 8, and Shaddy is back into level 3. With only one key, but he does have the map, so he knows exactly which way he needs to go. Well, Ima still is going back into level 8. He's cleared out so much of this dungeon. And, oh right, the transport to that smaller segment is down at the bottom there, isn't it?
Yep, I think that's probably the play that he's going to make here. He's got just about every other room cleared out of level 8 on the big segment at least. Well, no, perhaps he's going to make sure it's absolutely not them first and then go over there. So one option's to bomb right in this room. We'll see if it opens up, and if it's a staircase, no.
It does open up, but it's just a hint room, and it's old news.
So now his decision, it looks like, is going to be impacted by his 2 keys. He went through the transport to get to the top half earlier. Doesn't want to use the key door to try and access the only other room he hasn't been to, so looks like he's going to take the segment staircase and see if perhaps the other item's over there. Because we do get another raid now from Speed Gaming 4, so welcome to Reverse Pentaforce, where we started with 3 Triforces and we're trying to get to 8 and get bow and silvers at minimum.
And the second item in level 8 is the silver arrows. So, Eatma Steel has found what he needs to defeat Ganon, but there's still that little issue of level 5 seemingly being ladder blocked. We didn't really see that much of the area to the south because nobody seemed to have any keys, and I don't know why. I don't remember why Dr. J left. Ima still is going to head back into level 3 to pick up that Triforce. He does have the 1 key he needs to get a little bit further.
Yeah, it seems to me that we were ladder blocked. I saw Dr. J clear a lot of it. I don't think he ever ran out of keys even, so I would think that that makes it very likely that level 6 or level 7 does have the ladder, leaving our items outstanding to potentially put the power bracelet in level 9, but there's 3 left at that point.
Yeah. And Shaddy's taking a look at the nearby rooms before picking up that Triforce, but he moves on, picks up the Triforce from level 3, so now he has 7 Triforces. Just needs the one from level 5.
It does have a key, so we'll at least get to go look at the key door on level 5 and figure out if there's a way around down there or not.
Yeah. Oh, and we find a mugger room in level 3.
I'm pretty sure this is a hunt for another key drop, since he does have the heart.
Yeah, and he gets the key drop. So, I guess you could consider that a discount on the price of a key at a shop.
Oh yeah, certainly with what he had, which was almost 200 rupees at that point, to be able to get a key for free, maybe 2 keys for free depending on what's in this room.
No, we saw this on Shaddy's side. It was just a $5.
Walked right into the red whiz robes. He almost got sent back and would have had to do the blue whiz robes all over again. Thankfully did not die.
And while we were watching the other runners in 3, Dr. J went back into level 1, picked up his red ring.
Yep, so we should see Dr. J start to really motor through this at this point.
Yeah, but he's missing the. I think he's going to need another key to get any further than this. But he will find his book there, and Bogey picks up his silver arrows.
Dr. J has magical sword, so wand is not that big of a combat boost for him anymore. Clearly, you pick up the book and
True.
it's really points you somewhere good.
And Shetty finds a. Oh no, there's some sort of staircase here, and it is a transport. So maybe there you can get around that. No, it goes to another room on the south half. The entire northern half of level 5 is ladder blocked.
Yep, so now the question is did we clear out everything else on Dr. J's side in this dungeon? Or did he get key blocked out of the Triforce? Because that's a big factor at this point in whether
there are 2 other rooms in this southern section. You need a key to get into either one of them.
Yeah, so the keys are the big play yet again. At this point, if I'm in Dr. J's shoes and I have Red Ring and I have Magical Sword, I think that's probably what I would pick up even more than the hints, is let me get some keys and maybe get through some of these dungeon blocks that I have. So where is Shaddy gonna go? Is he gonna go back to level 8?
And, I don't know, it would be helpful. Meanwhile, Bogey picks up his Triforce moment. No, Shaddy's heading into level 6. That is good in the sense that it's, as far as we can tell, probably like about a 50-50 chance of being our ladder. But bad in the sense that it means he's probably never going to head back to level 8 and get the silver arrows until after he's found both items in 9 or a hint saying they're not here.
I suppose the good thing, if you're rooting for him to finish well in this, is that level 9 is first quest setup, so there'll be 3 old men and he has the book, so there's always the chance he gets turned around.
Yeah, and speaking of level 9, we see a Patra in level 6. Those tend to like to be in level 9. Eatma's Steel heading into level 5. He's got 1 key, and Bogey is buying a key, so that's going to help him out. Ooh, and Eatma Steel used a retry strat. He peeked in that room we couldn't get into before. It turned out to just be a hint as to level 9's location. So he says, nope, I'm getting my key back. And he's really been tracking this overworld well. He used a whistle to get to an any road to speed his way back to level 5.
Definitely think that Eat My Steel has a bit of an advantage here, if for no other reason than he has some of the key doors already sorted out. So on top of that, he has 156 rupees, so he could get a second key if so desired.
Yeah. And it's all down to this room. What is it going to be? It's another old man room. So that confirms that the ladder is required to get to the Triforce as well. Shaddy's digging level 7. Did he get ladder blocked out of level 6?
I don't know if that was the case or he just didn't like the options. But look at this, the hint that we walked by earlier.
Gets the hint that he needs to go back to 8. That is very useful.
So we know that he's not going to get trolled by level 9 at this point, but you still have to look for the item in here and hope that it's the ladder. To answer the question, chat, we had a 2018 tournament that was a Pentaforce tournament where you had to get 5 Triforces in order to get into level 9. In this case, the major switch up is that you get 3 Triforces to start, and you need to get to all 8. So essentially, you still need to get 5 Triforces, but it's a different setup of 5 Triforces that you need to actually look for. You don't get the option to pick your 5 Triforces, you just have to pick whether or not you want to go back to dungeons that you got 3 Triforces out of.
And we're seeing a lot of rooms with the Goma and a double block that are just not pushing. So they're kind of trolling these runners.
Looks like Shaddy with 3 keys is going to go over this direction with a bait block. So if that's in play, man, it's got some really silly stuff going on in the seat. But he can try a bomb to the right up here, keyboard.
Oh, well,
so
I mean, there's... bait's not required as long as you're willing to spend a key, but... oh, there's no way to go further north without the ladder in that room, so you gotta just kill this room.
So the frustrating part there is now you've burned 2 keys, and both of them were not keys that were very useful for you. You have to continue to burn resources for no pay.
Yep, and you can bomb into the room north of that river, and it's just an old man.
Well, at least you know the general shape of this dungeon, so there is a potential you could have bombed to the right of this bait block. Let's see if it pays off.
They didn't check there. Ema Steel does check there, it doesn't bomb. Yes, Real Sam GMG, a ladder blocked Triforce in 5.
On the right, so looks like perhaps, but well,
and we find the item in level 6. It's the wand. Bogey thinks about it for a moment since he already has the book, but decides to get it. So that means that Ema Steel and Shaddy are in the correct dungeon. The ladder has to be in level 7, which means that the power bracelet and the any key will be in level 9.
So in a general sense in this scene, you had the red ring, the raft that was not required, a red candle and a wand in the dungeons that you did not have to go into if you did not want to. So that was what a runner started with. So in
Dr.
theory,
J. Go on.
I was going to say in theory it just means that as we find the ladder, it was manhandle block. But in theory, if you just passed on all the dungeons that you didn't have to go into, you could jet through some of the other spots in the seed.
Yeah, and Shady hit the retry. I think he wants to take a quicker route and have more keys.
That's the only thing I can think of. It's got your ladder. I don't know if there's any other reason to do that.
Yeah, that is definitely an interesting strategy there.
To be fair, level 9 in First Quest does have quite a few key doors. It also has more keys than vanilla First Quest 9, but you don't want to go in there with 0 keys. That probably doesn't feel comfortable, so I can understand.
Oh, and Eat My Steel, after all that time in level 7, is heading to level 6, still without the ladder. Bogey finds the ladder in level 7. So he's going to be heading for level 5 with his ladder in hand. So he's going to be he's our first runner in go mode.
So now the big question for Bogey is how many more key blocks are we going to run into in this level 5? Because that's going to determine how much of a lead he has on stream.
Yeah, that is a very good point. And Shady gets his ladder. This time he's hitting save.
Yep, again, is definitely required, so Shady's going to have to make a decision as to whether or not he goes to 8 first or to get his Triforce out of level 5. We see the location of the Triforce level 5, but it looks like bomb walls are not going to open up for Bogey. He has to go out and get another key.
Yep, those keys, they've been the real great equalizer in this seed. This has been a very key-starved seed all night long.
Once you know, this is of course the time where the any key actually rolls itself into level 9. So Shady opting into this level 5 excursion first. See how many keys are required to get to the Triforce. We know it's at least going to be 1. Meanwhile, Dr. J has his silver arrows, so everybody either has knowledge of the silver arrows or has them in their possession at this point. Oh man, that's a terrible Triforce room. They're in level 5 on a wood sword.
Yeah.
You could definitely clear it.
Bogey's got 0 keys and 0 rupees. So he's in a kind of rough spot right now. Oh, okay, yeah. It's not really that bad a room, because there's a river you can stand on. I mean, it's going to take a while waiting for the darkness to come near you, but you can stay pretty safe there. Bogey is taken to guinea farming, but he's gonna pick up his magical sword in the grave area. Which, if nothing else, will be able to speed along his rupee farming, because it seems that that's what feels he's reduced to. Shaddy picks up the Triforce in level 5 and will be our first runner on stream to head to level 9. Unfortunately, he told us beforehand we do not have usable audio for him, so we're not going to be able to hear the Roar of Ganon on stream in his exploration.
I don't think you're going to see him go into level 9 yet anyways.
Oh yes, of course. He has to go back to level 8 for the silvers. My bad.
Yep, shouldn't be too long though. I know he's definitely got a lot of rooms covered out of the main segment. Just be interested to see how quickly he ventures back into the small one.
And Dr. J has grabbed his Triforce from level 3. Now he's got to decide whether he wants to dig level 6 or level 7. We know that the correct answer is level 7. He is into level 7, and yes, he bailed immediately after finding the instant Triforce, so he doesn't know anything about level 7's layout other than what you can see by looking at the negative of level 8.
And as we noted earlier, level 6 couldn't have been extremely big, and while it's definitely not small, it's not quite the biggest 6 we've ever seen either.
Yeah, 30 rooms is about right, and Shaddy has found his silver arrows in level 8. Now he is in go mode with all 8 Triforces. He will be heading to level 9 at 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 20-something seconds.
So we're gonna see. Yeah, we're gonna see now whether or not the key situation comes into play or not for Shaddy. On one hand, not having keys in 9 might force you into a route that takes you directly to what you need.
Yeah.
However, it's just as likely to force you away from the area you need to go, so could play either way.
And, I mean, remember, the any key is somewhere in this dungeon, so you could also end up walking into finding that early. But you don't really want to gamble on that, and if the ladder wasn't required for level 5, it was for level 9. There's only one way to go from start, and it is right into the double river room.
And you can already see picked up a single key, but now he's looking around to make sure there's not a way around. And look, there was the silver set in case you missed
Yep.
the other information.
And we get a step over the water to reach the magic key, which we already know because all of level 9 is ladder blocked.
Rupees guard the compass, so that's a very easy compass to locate once you find a rupee boss.
Nice.
The one thing I will say that I disagree with here is we're blowing by 2 staircases now.
Yeah, well, I mean... Yeah, it is kind of a curious, decision, but, I don't know how much... I mean, he definitely doesn't know about the wand in 6, but I figure he knows about both of the boomerangs, so it should be like a 2 in 3 chance in his mind that the any key is here. Or, oh no, he also doesn't have the red ring out of level 1. So that's another item that, I mean, I'd just as soon be looking at, if that's a potential item in level 9, I'd be looking at that. Oh, and we find Ganon immediately, or Bowser, because Shaddy plays with the Mario sprites.
Yeah,
It's going to be 15 hits with the wooden sword.
He can only take 1 more, or 2 more fireballs, so he's got to really make sure to do a little bit of work here without getting hit once.
Yeah.
Last fireball, and he's taken out by the fireball, so...
And meanwhile, Eatma Steel has found the wand in level 6. He's still in here? Is he going to just like search a couple extra rooms for keys, I guess?
I suspect it was for keys.
Yeah. But, yeah, he's gonna have to head back to 7, and he's not going to be happy because he spent plenty of time in 7 and then left. And Dr. J has his ladder.
Yeah, Bogey's still looking for keys. We do see Shaddy hitting Toad over and over again. He's not doing that because he has a hatred for Toad. He's setting up his count for probably a fairy drop in one of these next couple rooms. So he's just got to hit one of these, one of these mummies.
Yep, and he does get the fairy. So that'll give him a little bit of extra health. And for the second time, here's Bowser.
Got the free hit on him, but has not gotten the 50-50 play to go to the right side. So let's see if he can get a stun lock this time without taking so many fireballs and whittling his health down. You will notice that he keeps going up on the right column. That's because that forces Bowser to go up and to the right as opposed to just going across the bottom. It's a little bit harder to hit him without getting a driver if you let him go across the bottom. Like that time he did, because Shaddy went up and then back down before he made the turn. Manipulating Ganon is pretty important in just about every flag set.
Yep. And Shaddy takes another death.
So we're likely to see the same strategy here. He's gonna beat up on the poor Toad a couple of times, try and get his count all the way up to 15 again. Get a fairy and hope that this time he can do a little bit better job of stun locking. first glance for me, CCX, I think Dr. J probably has a small advantage over Eat My Steel and potential to catch up to Shaddy, who's having some difficulty in 9.
Agreed, due to the sword advantage. And also has an additional key, 2 additional keys now. Eat My Steel just used his last one.
And Bogey has farmed his way up now to 3 keys, so...
Yep, level 4 had the keys he needed. And that is on Bowser for the 3rd attempt.
Yeah, we should see Bogey go down to 2 keys if he doesn't explore extra rooms in this 5.
Yep, looks like he's got his stun lock, and Dr. J has the last Triforce he needs to head to level 9. And down goes Bowser. So now it's just a question of where is Princess Peach for Shaddy?
Well, there's the compass in the Rupee Boss room, so now he knows which direction he has to roughly go.
Yeah, and that's not terribly far, but the question is, can he get there?
Well, he's gotta hope that's bomb walls and open doors and not key blocks. If it's key blocks, he's gonna get slowed down again.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got all those staircases he passed up. And Eat My Steel and Dr. J are pretty much screen for screen right now. Shaddy checking staircases now. I guess he's ruled out any direct path. Oh, is that the troll staircase? That looks like that's a room he's already been in.
He had a shutter door north of Yen, so if he can get back up there, he can definitely check some more locations. Looks like gonna command a key just to get rid of another key door, and it's not the answer either.
Finds another diamond staircase. Guarded by a Patra, he wants no part of it. And we find Ganon's regular room. It had some bombs in it. And Shaddy's found another chance to command a key. This going to be the path he needs. Those walls aren't bombing. Maybe the staircase.
I'm really surprised that he's still not trying to go through as many staircases as I thought maybe he might.
Yeah, but he does find a bomb wall. Oh, but he's already been in this room because there's another bomb wall open in it.
Now, this was his path over to fight Ganon the first time.
And Eat My Steel hears the roar of Ganon.
I'm almost positive that this room here, with the T room, is the path that you could probably take to get to Zelda.
Yeah,
So,
those key doors. Those key doors.
I think it's really a fight between Bogey and Dr. J to be able to get through this seed first at this point out of our 4 featured runners.
Yeah, because they've got the keys.
Certainly seems like Shaddy and Eat My Steel will be the first two to have Ganon defeated and be on the hunt. But unless there's a transport that we find,
Yep. Nope. Shaddy just took another transport, took him to a room he'd already been in.
but he found a key. Go.
Oh.
And we find the power bracelet
Wrong
Right next
level
to
9
the-
item.
right next to Ganon. That's what that staircase had. So I may have missed it earlier, but that's quite funny.
And Dr. J has now found his path to the piggy.
And everybody has the compass.
Yep. So, and Ganon quickly goes down for him. Dr. J looks like he could be our first featured runner done if he just I mean, we know that the right wall should bomb in this room. I thought that was... Oh no, it was Ganon's room itself that bombed. Yeah, that... my bad. It's this room here that bombs.
It looks like Shaddy's realized his likelihood of being key blocked is quite high. I don't know how in the world he's going to get keys, though. He has
and Dr. J does not bomb east again. We knew that that would have actually worked. Oh, Shaddy has left level 9. Up now, Dr. J's heading east and should be able to get the path. But
Well,
he
we've
is
already-
taking this door, which we know he's going to have to try another, he's going to end up having to take a second key door. Will this be the path? It'll get him to another side of it.
Hey!
Oh!
So north entry is the most likely now, but there's always a chance you have to go
Yep,
completely
but
around.
Here's a staircase. It is a passage. He thinks about it. He's taking it.
Hey, he's gonna take it back, I betcha, after this. Yep. Top right corner staircase is a nope. It's not close enough. Rather burn his last key, I suspect.
Yeah, seems right. And that'll get us over to the room to the north. Is
Yep.
this our entrance? No! You can only enter from the west.
And it doesn't bomb there either, so,
Yeah, but I mean, with how close we've been, it might be a magical staircase right into the room next to her.
yeah, that was my inclination at this point. If you can't access from the three sides, that you've actually, been able to get one room away from her, the chances of you having a magical staircase to the fourth and final side is a little bit higher, at least. But we'll see. Maybe there's just a really long...
Yeah, I
Crazy
mean,
route.
looking at that mini map, it looks like we have the rooms. We basically have like not only three of the four rooms adjacent, but also all four of the rooms that are diagonal to it. But maybe I saw it wrong.
And we found another transport. Doesn't take you directly there, it only takes you one room up. So there's the troll staircase I was looking for earlier.
Yeah, 9 will have a lot of those.
So at this point, I think Eat My Steel is probably in the spot that I would prefer to be in, and that would be all the way on the right side of this dungeon, because we've seen from everybody else's screen at this point that access to the northwest is only viable through the one staircase.
Yeah, we seem to be just going in circles. Yeah, we did see the power bracelet on stream, yes. It was like right next to Ganon's room, right just to the south of it.
The only thing we're missing is the staircase that gets you close enough to Zelda, and I think the only other one that we're missing.
And the staircase that leads to the Master Key.
Yep.
We have not seen that yet.
My steel is now north. It's gonna find the same bad news that Dr. J found earlier, that there is no bomb wall there. Shaddy is bombed, or is trying to bomb into this area, but cannot. There's the Any key, though.
Found the Any key.
So the lead probably switches again. Where was the Any key? All the way down there with the Patra. I think someone else walked through that room.
Yeah, someone walked in, Shaddy walked into that room, saw the diamond staircase with the Patra, and immediately turned around and headed a different direction.
And we've got a bomb wall way out on the west side of the dungeon, and a room to the right, so maybe this is the path finally. You had the bomb way out there.
And will this wall bomb? Or is it just going to be the staircase that we need? That wall does bomb.
Guaranteed to be it.
So the irony is that as soon as he finds the Any key, it's nothing but bomb walls to get there. And Bogey is the winner of our featured runners with a time of 1:32.16. He's finished 6th overall. Off stream, Jay Coper won it with a time of 1 hour 2 minutes even. Captain Green 7, 106.16. King Doll 119.39. Amazing Toaster in 4th with a time of 125.15, and Homer J Smash in 5th with a time of 129.49. We also had a forfeit in between the 4th and 5th place finishes.
Meanwhile, Dr. J now has an Any key, so I think that's both good and bad. There may be another way around up in that northwest or something, but that may also send him through every key door before finding the bomb wall that we saw.
Oh, but did he obey afterwards?
Yep.
Oh, that's going to take him a bit longer.
In the meantime, though, we do have our first on-stream finisher, Bogey, in the booth with us.
Hey there.
Bogey, you found the item that you're probably most happy to find, and immediately decided to find the bomb wall that was necessary. Congratulations.
That's right. Thanks. I knew I was going to find Any key like right before this race ended, and I did.
Yeah, and not have to go through a single key door after that. Because the game knows.
That's right.
Looks like there was two ways to get there. That transport staircase we saw in the northwest corner appears to be leading Dr. J down to the Blue Land Mola rooms. That's going to get him the direct path, so looks like he'll be our 7th place finisher.
Yep.
Initial time is to be about 1 hour and 34 minutes, and we'll pause there. Hello? Oh, he's just standing there. 33 seconds. as we were talking about Dr. J finishing, Shaddy's also on that path, so,
Yeah. And
Eat My Steel has won the seed as well now that he has his innie. It's just gotta be like, oh boy, I can finally blow through all of these key doors, including the one north of me, that I need to find the bomb hole to get there.
And Shaddy is our third featured runner to finish. I didn't give the time. Dr. J finished with a time of 1:34.33 in 7th place. Off stream, J Wade 614 finished in 8th with a time of 1:34.50. Followed by Shaddy in 9th place, 1:35.11. And here's Eat My Steel. He finishes in 10th place with a time of 1:35.41. So GG to all of our featured runners.
Yep, quite a race amongst our featured runners this time for sure. And we are joined by 2 of the remaining 3. We got Dr. J and Shaddy in here. Keep watching.
Looks like 3 minutes 25 seconds between the first and last of our 4 featured runners. So, yeah, that was quite the tight race.
Yeah, that was with Ganon guarding the any key. Like, that's not really something you want.
Yeah, well, that any key was just. I mean, once you find the any key, all you need is bombs.
Yeah, and splurging on the bomb upgrade when I first found it, that really paid dividends for me.
Yeah, those bombs. That was some nice bomb upgrades. Maximum 6 for just a tad under the vanilla price. So, and we have our the last of our featured runners, Eat My Steel. GG.
So I'll kind of give them all, I think, a little bit of a rundown here. Eat My Steel, Shaddy, and Bogey all basically went the same direction early in the seed, with Eat My Steel and Bogey finding the silvers in level 8, whereas Shaddy got the hint outside of level 8 that told him he needed to go back at some point. Dr. J was the only one kind of off the beaten route, but that also got him over to Magical Sword at 10 hearts, and wouldn't you know it, it was one of those rare seeds where that 10 heart number was good enough to get it, and that suddenly put him in combat advantage over everybody else. And really was the deciding factor into putting him back on the path to catching up to everybody. And by the end of it all, he took probably a 6 or 7 minute deficit back down to just a minute over Bogey on the on-stream side. So it was quite a race to watch between all 4.
Glad we put on a good show, at least.
Yeah, I wish keys were were a little bit easier to come by. I think I dug 3 or 4 other dungeons trying to just pick up whatever I could.
Yeah, the keys were really the story of the seed. The ladder being required for 5 was also a factor, since you had to like really dig this level 7 with the free Triforce right at 1 room north of the entrance. And I know Dr. J, you went north first, found that Triforce, and just said, nope, not coming back here unless I need something.
Yeah, basically, and figured if I got the recorder at some point, then I could just go back there when I do, and turns out I did.
Yeah, I think the one thing that also really played into Dr. J's advantage over everybody else for at least a good window of this race was that Magical Sword also allowed you to clear a couple more rooms, and those couple of rooms mean that unlike Bogey and Shaddy having to go back to level 4, you basically didn't have to exit and really farm for an extensive amount of time, maybe just 1 key somewhere. Otherwise, you could keep on going for the most part, whereas everybody else at one point or another had to double back, including Eat My Steel.
Yeah, I think it was the one time I had to buy 2 keys, and then that was about it. And then just trying to find any other route around that key block when I was out of keys in 9 too.
Yeah, I think I had like 1 key I had 4 or 5 keys going into 9, and then I found Ganon pretty easily. And then I had the compass, so I'm like, oh, I can start using my keys now. Except for you couldn't get to her from the south, you couldn't get to her from the east. And then I just had 1 key left. I'm like, I don't want to lose my last key, and then ended up bombing west of Ganon to go that direction, and then found the Annie key, and like you guys said, I didn't end up needing it after that point.
Yeah, at that point, at least for me, I had found all the travel staircases, so I knew it was most likely I had to go to the first one that put you up in the northwest corner. And turns out you did.
Gotcha. So yeah, aside from that, I was happy to find Red Ring early. I think 1 was the first dungeon I ended up finding, so I figured, you know what, I'll just dig it out. I know I have the Triforce, but I'll see what 2 items are in here. So I was happy I found the Red Ring, because otherwise that would have probably made things a little bit more complicated with some of the wood sword combat. Yeah, I think key deficits and kind of a trolley level 9 at the end after you killed Ganon were kind of the things that jumped out in the seed.
Yep.
And I only found 1 large secret, I think. I don't remember where it was, but I was also on the hunt for one of the other 2 large secrets. I assume they were in Northwest Death Mountain.
That's where the last one was for me, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, 2 are easily accessible fairly early. I think maybe just one of the spots that you skipped around, maybe, or something along those lines. Otherwise, the last one we saw Dr. J. I think somebody else went up there and got that as well. So, yeah, really close race, you guys. Any final thoughts before we let everybody go?
I mean, it's a nice twist on Pentaforce, because with that, once you get 5, then you think you're in go mode, except for having to clear things. With this, you already have the 3 Triforces, but you still have incentive to go back to dungeons like 1.
Yeah, the difference is with the normal Pentaforce, you can kind of pick and choose which dungeons you're getting your 5 from, if the seed allows it, because sometimes it will block a couple of Triforces behind something in 9, because you don't need all those Triforces. But with this one, you still need every Triforce, and I think the logic assumes that you aren't starting with any of them, so nothing in 9 could have blocked any of the Triforces. I don't think, even the ones that you started with. But yeah, definitely an interesting flag set.
Yep, it's always nice to kind of change things up but keep them similar to things that we've done in the past. Just try and find new little quirks, and this was definitely an interesting one with rather trolley seed, but still fun all the same. So, GG's to all of our runners.
Thanks,
Yeah,
and
GG
thanks for
guys.
doing comms and tracking and restream.
Thank you.
GG's to everyone. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, as always.
Take care.
Yep. And that should wrap things up for us tonight. Let me just look at the schedule.
Most of the other things are wrapped up. I think even the spoiler log tournament's kind of got its race finishing up. But we do have the No Kid Hungry Marathon concluding in the next 6 to 8 hours, so I suspect that's where everybody will consent at this point.
Yeah, it seems like the best one. I mean, there should also be the spoiler log tournament. It only started like about half an hour ago. But yeah, probably go on to the No Kid Hungry Marathon over on Speed Gaming.
Yep, it was a pretty fun race to watch. Thanks to Chios for his work in the background there, pushing buttons, and thanks for joining me, CCX. I enjoyed talking with you a little bit about the seed, and look forward to talking with you in the future.
Yeah, it was a fun race. So, yep. Follow these runners and my co-commentator Fury SK. Good night, everyone.
Yep, good night, everybody.